Okay, so Greg asked me to do a video. He actually said, can you record your screen and just make a note of what it is you can see, which is fair enough, good idea. And so I'll just switch this on. Let's explain what I've got here. This is the ES depth and sales here. This is the average volume, so we're below average. My summary tape, and this is the average tick. It's not really doing anything now, it's only averaging like 300 at most down. So we've moved down. I did take a short here, took a loss here off the open, took a short down here from this first pullback. So that was kind of the second entry trade where I wait for a reverse, wait for a move to occur and then try and get in on the first pullback. So right now, like overall, there are some areas down here that kind of potential for a long. There's no low volume node off the profile here, which I didn't take. So I'm not really right now looking at this. I'm going to let the market reverse as opposed to take a trade unless it's really, really obvious from the depth and sales. Just because there was a big move up yesterday, and it could sell off all the way down today, so I don't really want to stand in front of that. And on the other hand, I'm not really ready to take another short after this. This one, I didn't get filled. I actually got a fairly good fill there. I thought it was going to go through and fill me on the rest of it. I only got filled on part of the position, so I couldn't scale out. So I had a short, but I'm not really didn't really get much out of it, to be honest. So there I am. So I'm not going to go short. I'm not ready to go long until it reverses and I get some sign that it's coming back. So we'll just go and have a look what we're looking at. We've got the time and sales here, just showing all reconstructed trades. And so 38.25, we had an iceberg there. Let me just clear all that out. So I'm just going to say the kind of things I'm looking at. So obviously what we can see here, we've got a lot of depth on the offer, more than we've got on the bid, which is a little bit unusual as you come into the to the low of the day. You usually see the bids a lot higher than the low of the day. The bids are stacking, the offers are pulling out of the way. So, in terms of that snapshot picture, it looks like we might see a move up in the short term. But again, there's nothing yet that you might want to take a trade. You see the deltas, coming up a little bit. Really nothing. I mean, there's 100, 105k here. It's what, 1,000 or two. Okay, so look, we look here. Just looking at this. Not many sellers hitting into that bid there. Market does pause quite often, but if this sort of thing keeps happening where nobody hits into a price and the sellers look quite shy, then again that's kind of your first sign of a reversal up. And if you're in an area like we are now, where you see those first signs, that's kind of the most aggressive entry you can take, is seeing those signs of reversal here, like this absorption here. So you can see this absorption here, this iceberg that we can see going off now, where they're stacking contracts onto here. That's kind of one sign of reversal, just as the buyers going off. The sellers not hitting into a level is a sign of reversal. But to get confirmation of that, you want to see people piling in on this side. So you could go long now, and it would be an aggressive long. But you really, if you want to have a less aggressive long, it's when you see people coming in the other side. Okay. So we saw the 3,000 there. It ticked down, didn't stay down for very long. Again, that's a sign of a reversal up. But again, you're talking about we're at the low of the day. We've come off nearly 10 points. We had a big up move yesterday. It's not the kind of thing you want to step in front of. Plus the ticks coming down here. So again, if we see this tick coming up again, that's a good sign for the upside. So really, the kind of, I guess the message is, don't stand in front of a one-way market. Okay, so now let's see these guys, how they come in, buyers. And quite a bit of stacking here on the big side. Now the thing is, you don't have to get in at the reversal itself. You can always let it reverse up, see this delta come up 10k, and then wait for it to pull back a bit. To me, that's a much more sensible entry. If we come down to here and we get some more significant points of entry into the market, then yeah, maybe that would be a good time to go along. But if we look at yesterday, all yesterday did was churn up. It just churned up, and we saw 5,000 contracts one side, 10,000 the other side, then it go up 8,000 one side, 7,000 the other side, and it just did that all day. So we have to kind of remember what it did yesterday. That was kind of unusual yesterday, but we have to remember yesterday that those huge volumes at each level that went through didn't really stop the market at all. Okay. So we're up 5 ticks, only 3,000 contracts to move up 5 ticks. That's, to me, that's a sign that it's a liquidity vacuum. So then we look here on this side. Do we have anything here that tells us this is just a liquidity vacuum and pull back, which means we've moved up and now it's going to hit a line in the sand if this is liquidity vacuum. So it's moved down, there's a vacuum above, and it's going to come back up. And does it hit a wall when it comes back up? Well, 600 contracts isn't exactly a wall yet, but let's see. This area here, if we hadn't moved down 10 points, this is the kind of thing in a pullback you'd want to see to get short. We came back up, we cleared this, we hit 180 contracts into there. Right now, I'm not going to short it because of the way it's come down, but that's the kind of thing on a pullback I'd like to see. Now, in terms of a pullback, I said, you're going to see signs of a reversal, like in this case, you move up and the buyer's faded away at this level. Or you could have an iceberg, somebody steps in and starts absorbing the contracts. On a reversal at the low of the day, that's a very aggressive trade, and what you'd like to see an aggressive, reversal at the low of the day is actually some big buyers coming in. But on a pullback, you wouldn't really wait for that. So on a pullback, as it comes up into here and you see this, it doesn't trade through here, you could take a shot at that. You could take a shot at that in a pullback. You'd be better doing that here or here and not right down here, but that's, you can be a bit more aggressive in your entry when it's on a pullback as opposed to a reversal at the low of the day. Okay, so if we see sellers come in here, I'm fairly sure we're going to see a new low. The ticks come back up, but not significantly, and it's kind of working its way down. Okay, so for a long trade, we want to see this come back up significantly, and then a pullback where the delta doesn't come down. I guess you can see the date as well. If anyone's watching this, it's just before Christmas, so that's why the markets are pretty slow. The average volume is really low. We could just spin around here for hours, given the volume. What we'll do is clear this down here, because if the sellers do come in now, we should see like 500 here, 500, 600 here, 600 here. That kind of, those are the, like this print here. These are the kind of volumes we want to see on the sell side to show us that sellers are coming in. 600, 700 at each level, and then the bidders getting out of the way when those 600, 700 hit them. Obviously, if you're long, that's what you want to see up here. You'd want to see 600 tick up, 700 tick up, 500 tick up, 400 tick up. That's what you want to see, because you're seeing both. You're seeing two things. You're seeing the size hitting it, but you're also seeing them getting out of the way. And obviously, if you watch this, the kind of pace is important as well. So the actual speed at which this happens. So you don't want to see you don't want to see really this where the 1600 went in, but it took a long time to get to chew through and it goes down. Now, if you see a couple of thousand here, before and it takes 30-40 seconds or a minute to tick down, it's still not real strong selling pressure in my book. I want to see like boom, 500 into it and it ticks down. Second later 600 and then it ticks down, and then that's kind of the selling pressure and the bidders getting out of the way. But still, if you were short here, if you were short because of this, because the buyer's not into this, you're still okay. You'd still be okay. It's just not a great trade location. I mean, the only things that are on your side is the 6, 6, 5, 5, 7, 5, 6. Is the pullback size is about kind of the normal for the day, and you still had no real volume participation in this move up here, and you've got no delta. So then you've really seen no buying into this level. So if you're short, probably a bit of a rash move, but you still wouldn't be too worried about it. As we can see over here, we had, when we ticked down there, we had 585 come into 38, but it was straight away. It ticked down and then boom, we had the 585 going. It's a bit like watching paint dry, isn't it? Oh, the other thing, we've got this high volume here and low volume here, so we got 20,000, 20,000, then 7,000, 10,000, then nearly 5,000 here. So this is kind of mud. This is kind of a sticky area, and there's this area here is also potentially sticky as well. Okay, now if we were short, we'd be getting nervous, but we just ticked up there and zero hitting. So if it does come down now, it will validate short. If you get 500, 600 here, this is the point at which, if you've been short, 500, 600 and tick up, this is the point at which you'd bail. And obviously, if that does happen and we go up here and the delta comes up as well, that's the point at which we could say we change our bias, because basically we came off an area we'd already defined, a low volume node. Delta came up, volume came in, price moved up. So that's good enough to say, yeah, the market has reversed. Right now that hasn't happened because the delta hasn't shifted, and this isn't really a significant move. We haven't even taken the last swing yet. But I wouldn't, if this ticks up again, I would have been out of the short. And then we've got iceberg on the bid and the offer. Slightly more significant on the bid. They've added 1,300 contracts there. So if these guys get out of the way, that's that's where you'd expect a little pop. That's where they're going to go. Yeah, this is kind of typical of what we were seeing yesterday. Just get to a level and churn. I'm not sure what the explanation is behind people sitting there and doing this. I guess there must be some rationale behind it. But normally on a day like this, you'd see somebody get out of the way like that, then you would see the market pop up. Okay, so we've got some fairly decent size buying in there. So let's consider now, okay, we consider now that that might have reversed. So could we actually get a long entry on a pullback? And we'd expect the pullback to be possibly around 5 or 6 ticks if it does come back. Okay, so we've got the delta moving up. Now, other things, when you first move up, you quite often get it pulled back. Like, once the move's obvious, like it is, it's getting a bit more obvious now. What you quite often get is it'll come back like 2 ticks, and you don't really get much of an opportunity to come in. So now at the overnight low, this might be a good place to pull back. So this could be 5 ticks, 38.25. See, there's an iceberg at the bid there, so we don't really want it to hold. We don't really want it to hold there and come up because it's really not a great place to enter. See, this is pretty thick, this side. I mean, this is up here. So we're getting a couple of thousand at each level. So will this stack up to a couple of thousand again? So we've got 1500 on the bid there. I didn't go through it. 700 on the bid there. If it comes down, let's see what we get. We had 700 on the bid there. No, it's not going to come down. Okay, so we need to go. So 38.75 would be our pullback. Okay, so we need it to come back. No, come on. So it's 39 kind of. So we could consider like 39.25 for a long. Oh, come on. Just need these guys to step off the gas a little bit. Another iceberg. Again, it's not something I'd like to take though. Even it's kind of tempting to take these icebergs, but That's not the way I like to do things. I like it to come down. And I'd obviously like to come down without too much delta pullback and without too much size on the way back. Although it is churning, so I'm kind of a little less afraid of the size on the way down, because we've seen it on both sides. Look at the overall delta here. We got over here we got size on both sides. Okay, so this is our area. 36 hit us. I wouldn't have got a fill there even if I'd put an order in ahead of time. It's kind of tempting with these things to chase it, to jump in and take this this price here, but it's another 2 ticks, and it's just better to wait. Over time, it's just better to wait and let trade slip away from you. Although there will be swearing if it moves up from this price. There will be swearing, and I will have to edit the video. I'm sort of tempted to hit 50s, but I'd like to see it come down to 39, so I can get 25, 39, 25. Because we need some sellers to hit into this. Don't just print the 5. There we go. Okay, good big print there. So what we're going to get down here. Okay, good. Okay. Let's see how we do that. What we don't want to see, it come too far down. It's okay if it comes back. So we'll put 2. Let's put 1 there. 141. Just see how that plays out. In terms of a stop. Okay, let's see this holding now. And we just wanted to see some buyers jump in. Okay, tick, come off a bit, but nothing significant. Again, delta's come down. So what we'll wait for now is for the buyers to come in and start hitting into these prices. If we see that, we'll be happy. If we see them start into these prices down here aggressively, we'll get out. So watch what happens here. We got down to 100 now. If this ticks straight back down, it's a bad sign. You need to get through a level and stick. You need to go through a level and stick and trade there. If you get through a level and then boom, comes straight back down, it just means somebody's refreshing on the offers. And even when somebody's refreshing here, it can still tick down, because they can just if you're refreshing and trying to keep it at 700, somebody hits 800 into it, it's going to move. It's going to move through you. Of course, then whatever program you've got that's refreshing the orders, it's going to refresh and you're just going to pull the price back. Okay, so we really need the buyers to step in. And obviously we need to see this go positive, the tick down here. Okay, come on, get out of the way. This is kind of the tense moment of a trade when you first get in. Of course, when you've got a bit of clearance, then you get relaxed. So you'll probably hear that in my voice and me kind of buzzing and making noises like that. It's kind of normal. I don't know anybody who doesn't do that. I usually shout out words of encouragement. And, wife thinks I'm a bit mad when I'm up here and I'm kind of shouting at the screen. Come on. Again, this kind of thing here, seeing just it stay there and like 5,000 contracts between the two levels, it's not normal. It's not. You really don't normally see that. It's a real churny action we've had the past couple of days. It's churny, but you know, yesterday we still got a decent range. So it's almost like it's. I don't know how you'd explain it. It's just kind of. It's just bizarre action. Now, for me, if I get to this 14.40 and it doesn't get through, I'll cut that trade. You know, basically what I usually do, which is kind of pretty unique for me, when it gets into this price, I'll put a break-even stop. So when it gets into this price, as soon as a contract trades at that price, I'll put a break-even stop. And the reason I do that is I want that first fill. And if I don't get the first fill, the first time it gets to my price, I just get out. And you know, this, if you were position day trading and not taking these pullbacks and taking the reversal itself, you'd give it more of a, you'd give it more room to breathe. But with the, the order flow, we saw something on the order flow. We expect it to pop up straight away. Now we're giving it some leeway, but we expect this to pop through because the order flow is on our side. And if that's not the case, then the order flow is not on your side. You just get out of dodge basically. Okay, so we've had a few times up here, and it's just nothing there right now. But we also don't have the couple of thousand on each side. We're just seeing it little numbers, and it's not ticking through. Okay, we did actually tick up there. That was kind of, we officially ticked up there and nothing hit it. So I'm not sure if that violates my rule for putting a break-even stop on. Now when I put this break-even stop on, when it ticks up, I'm not going to keep it on after I get filled. I'm going to loosen it off once I'm filled. It's just kind of a money management thing more than anything else. I'm saying, okay, you've got to my target, fill me on my first bit, or get me out. Okay. So basically, if I get filled on this first part, then I'll loosen it. I'll pull this down a little bit. Okay, thank you. Pull that down to there. That's kind of safe. And just have to go to the restroom actually. I'm just going to leave that when I go to the restroom. Okay, did I miss anything? Right, so we've gone up a little bit more. We've gone past the danger zone, which is like the last high. We just moved through it a little bit. So we've gone up maybe 2 points. Slow market like this, I'm gonna set that to break even. I don't really want that to come back on me, and I'm just gonna let this run now. And the reason I'm just gonna let this run is because I'm kind of past caring about order flow at this point. I'm just gonna let it play out. I'm not really scared that it's gonna slip on that exit, so I'll just leave that. If it comes back and stops me out, that's fine. If I make money on it, more money on it, that's fine. I'll ease it. Okay, I'm still here. I'm going to talk. I'm seeing this move down a bit. The delta hasn't moved down. Still quite happy to stay in the trade. I feel like peeling another one off. Seems it's kind of holding here. What am I doing? Definitely get filled on that. Okay, let's get another one off. Short. Okay, so we've got just 2 left. Because it is a small range, only 7 points, and might be hoping for a bit too much from it. So I'll move that down 2 ticks.
mid-ice, mid-ice, ass-ice.